Good afternoon. We're back with more DC Dual Force. This afternoon I want to try a mono faction deck. Try Might. I've seen some players using it. I've seen it do well. I've typically seen Aquaman, Wonder Woman. I'm going to play Superman, Wonder Woman. I've seen some opinions that Superman is terrible, even worse than Black Adam. I don't agree, and so we'll play him a bit more and see what he can do. Let's see, we're going to be including pretty much everything reasonable since it's all Might. We're at 17 bronze there, that seems fine. Can stop there. Kong, Lobo, Mira. And then we need a lot of gold. I think this might be an unexpected help deck. 3 more cards. So 9 gold. I think we'll include 1 more gold. Do we want Aquaman? Power Girl, Supergirl. How many shields are we running? Superman, Robot, Crypto, Superboy, Kong, Keenan, potentially. It could be Supergirl. Let's try her. And then probably another silver. Maybe like 1 Hephaestus. Let's try this. Now we're playing at the world's finest rank, outside of the top 50, and as always, there is no way to know how far outside. Do I keep Hippolyta? It's not an aggro deck we're facing. Just go Antiope to start. Aquaman, Ivy. It's not a meta combo, it's a combo I've tried to make work and I haven't found success with. Though it makes sense on paper. That's good. That's a good card. Because we can go... Steve Trevor could be really good here, though. Now, I think the Bibbo draw I can't. Because if I go Superman Robot, his shield probably won't last. So we're just gonna trade here and take the card draw. Next turn we'll have like a Crypto or a Steve Trevor and a Hippolyta. Build a pretty strong board, hopefully. If he doesn't have the culling, he'll be in some trouble here.
May the gods grant
If he's got
us
the
their
culling, we
favor.
probably lose. Basically all in. And he may have the culling, he may be holding back. There it is.
Time to start branching out.
He had it in his opening hand. Playing solo, I would likely just concede here and move on to the next game.
I will turn the tide.
Use the shield after the fact. Could make a big swamp thing though. That'll help. If he doesn't fill up his board here, we'll play Superman instead.
May the gods grant us their favor.
So if he's holding... No, he can't be playing Flashpoint. I'm not sure why he didn't use Ivy's hero power there. Maybe he's got card draw that he's holding on to.
Time to start branching out.
Okay, goodbye Lobo. So a very control-oriented deck with Indoctrinate and the culling. Okay. We'll play the Swamp Thing here. We'll trade in this guy.
I'll never stop fighting.
So we're at card disadvantage, but based on the way he's been playing, these may not be very high value cards.
Time to start branching out.
A Wonder Woman draw at this point would be amazing. Truth and Justice would be very good. Oh, 2 Truth and Justices, okay.
I'll never stop fighting.
May the gods grant us their favor.
I don't know if I play Flex Mentalo here. I guess. It's not a lot of value. Oof. That's painful. Nothing I can do about it. He had the culling, he had Ladama. Stayed alive long enough to get it off. Just draws. I could have possibly played around the culling, but there's no way to play around the culling and Ladama. I had to play it the way I did in the late game. And he was able to stay alive long enough and he had what he needed. That's the way it goes with Ladama. Going second, I'm not going to keep Clark Kent. It's a rough start. Might is all about building up a big board. And so if you encounter games where you run into the Culling and Ladama in the same game, one or the other I could have beaten, but not both. And this game we're just drawing poorly. I'm in a precarious position where I have to draw bronze, which is less than 50-50 to do, and if I don't, I'll probably lose. Unless he's struggled to draw as well. I actually didn't know about that interaction between Diggle and Choi. Learning something new. I'm not going to trade with Diggle because I have Superman and Wonder Woman next round. Did draw bronze, which is good, so he only had to float one bronze resource. But he didn't have to float any. He's had full resource ability to use all of his resources each turn so far. So we'll see how that carries over into the late game. This player's pretty high up the leaderboard. He's just grinding Shazam Batman. A bit surprised by that. I thought he would kill Steve Trevor and then go face.
I bring the thunder!
Does he have another bronze to play? Yep. That's a good draw. It's a mediocre card, but it gives me something to do. Seeing as how I don't have any shields in hand.
I'll never stop fighting.
May the gods grant us their favor.
Wish it had targeted Batman, but what can you do? I have to do this trade or he's going to trade with Choi and then trade with Green Arrow, and it's too good for him. He's still going to with Batman and Green Arrow. There's nothing I can do about it. So it's possible I still should have gone face. Probably still should have gone face. Left the Choi up.
Tricks up my sleeve.
You got a lightning bolt? Need a Steve Trevor draw. Okay.
May the gods grant us their favor.
If I had gotten that first, I still couldn't have traumatized because it would have left too much face damage.
I bring the thunder!
So most of the guys in the top 50 are just grinding out Batman Shazam games, or Shazam Poison Ivy games, or Flash Doomsday.
Sorry, too slow.
And that's what they do all day, every day when they play. I probably won't do that. It isn't very interesting to me. Alright, I think I have to deal with the
Never stop
Shazam. But we're not going to win this one. It was lost when I had to float resources early and he didn't. When you're playing against a serious deck, you can't float resources and still win. Unless he has to as well. So it just comes down to draws. A lot of games in World's Finest do. Right. So right now what's controlling the meta? Draws are always a big one. Who draws Ivy's Fly Trap? Who draws the Lightning Bolt Chain? Who can use all of their resources? Apart from that, there's not a lot of decisions that you can do to impact a game. It typically just comes down to who drew their resources and who didn't. Then you can choose which deck you want to play. You can try out different decks, or you can just grind out one of the top decks, which is fine if that's what you're interested in. I could certainly do that as well and see where we end up, but I don't think that would be very interesting to watch. And it certainly wouldn't be very interesting to do. So I'm going to try out different things that I think are interesting. And see if we can find things that are potentially good. So I don't think we've gotten a really fair evaluation for this deck yet. Because we had one game where they drew the Culling and Ladama, and then one game where we had to float resources and they didn't. What we're looking for in terms of evaluating the deck, we're looking for games where basically neither of us have to float resources and see how it goes. Now, it's not going to happen very often because almost everybody's trying to exploit something broken, and then in the games where people aren't doing that, then often the draws are imbalanced. And we'll get some draws that are imbalanced in our direction as well. So this is another mono faction deck, so this should be interesting. Batman Cyborg is something I'd like to try. Possibly connection issues here. May have DC'd. Or just didn't have a good draw. That girl Aquaman. We'll go Favor of the Gods to start. Got some good candidates to get buffed. Steve Trevor's not really the one I wanted to see get buffed. I wanted one of the shield guys to get buffed, but it's alright. Bibbo, so that's good. Alright, so we want to take out the Brenda before playing Lobo, because we don't want Lobo targeting a recruit that's going to disappear immediately.
May the gods grant
So
us
we'll do
their
that.
favor.
And then play Lobo. And then we'll play Steve Trevor. Charging Wonder Woman for next round. In the event that he kills my Superman robot, I'll play Flex Mentalo to buff Wonder Woman.
I will turn the tide.
Okay, well,
I'll never stop fighting.
May the gods grant us their favor.
Actually got a Lobo kill on Batgirl here. Wonder Woman. Yes, please. Yeah, okay. So this is what the deck can do when it's going well. You build a board and then you get a Wonder Woman play or a Truth and Justice play, and it can get pretty crazy. That's what I've seen from opponents who played it against me. I feel like every match this session has been decided by draws. Another mono faction deck. I'm gonna keep Bibbo. Should I keep Superboy as well? I think so. Whoops, I played the wrong card. I meant to play Antiope. Oh, for some reason I thought Antiope was on the end. That was terrible. Misclick. And now I can't trade. Oh, I wouldn't have been able to either anyway, but... Could have just traded. Oh, we would have actually traded with the Brainiac drone, and then we'd be facing Black Mask with Antiope. And then would have had nothing to do this turn unless I wanted to play Bibbo, so I don't know if I would have wanted to do nothing. Okay, well, last game we had the killer board. This game my opponent does. And we're in a rough spot. Where we could easily just lose right here on a runaway board. Alright, see if we can clean things up a bit.
I'll never stop fighting.
May the gods grant us their favor.
Double Wonder Woman in a All Might deck is pretty good. Superman might not live long enough to want to buff him. opponent may need to use Lex Luthor to kill Lobo, which he's certainly not going to want to do. He'll want to draw.
Time for a hostile takeover.
Having to use Lex on a silver recruit is pretty rough.
Time to start branching out.
Why is this buffed? Oh, right. Mad Hatter. I think I will use Wonder Woman on the heroes here.
May the gods grant us their favor.
Can trade here. I really think that auras should block that. All right. It's gonna be Swamp Thing. It's gonna be. That's all, right? So we'll go. Making progress. May be able to KO Lex this turn, we'll see. That's rough. I think that was a top deck.
Time to start branching out.
Oh wow, he doesn't trade.
I'll never stop fighting.
May the gods grant us their favor.
Let's see what else he's got. See, the -1 from Deimos pops the aura, but the appetite doesn't. Which is odd. So we'll crypto. Kong is useless here. Which means we're dead. I think. Well, let's see. So we go +3 there. Yeah, I don't think we can do it. See what he top decks. If he top decked something truly useless, maybe. Nope, he didn't.
Time to start branching out.
Maybe if I get Superman? Yeah, so I can... Well, I only have one resource, so... Nope. Well, given the board that he had at the start, I'm surprised it was even competitive. I'm gonna keep Hephaestus. I want to try him out. What got the buff? That's perfect. Now if I could just draw a shield card. Oof. We'll just charge Superman and hold on to his power.
I still have a few tricks up my sleeve.
Yikes. Does he have more Pacos to play with Blue Beetle? Wouldn't be surprised.
gods grant us their favor.
Relying on... Well, you can still kill it with the Joker. All on the... fine. Whatever.
May the gods grant us their favor.
I'm sure Wonder Woman is dead here.
I still have a few tricks up my sleeve.
Or you could kill Superman potentially. With the right draw.
Never stop fighting.
Sure, why not? So it's kind of interesting, the Blue Beetle mini set was imbalanced in its distribution of cards because the Tactics faction got the overwhelming majority and the Might faction got 0. The Tyranny faction got Ladama, the Energy faction got Skeets, as well as Booster Gold, and the Anarchy faction got Carapax. But if you're gonna make a very good mini set and give all of the cards in it to one faction, or the majority of the one faction, and give one faction 0. How could you not run into balance problems doing that? It seems like the balance problem would be a given unless the cards are evenly distributed between the different factions. Each faction gets cards and they're all different, but of comparable strength would be the way to do it to avoid balance problems, unless you're giving a lot of good cards to a faction that's really weak. But that wasn't the case with Tactics. Tactics was fine before, and then it simply got a lot better. That's a curious decision. Not necessarily what I was expecting before seeing the Blue Beetle minis. That I would have expected every faction to get something. And every faction did except for Might, which was odd. Why exclude one faction? It almost guarantees the position that that faction is going to be in later. Oh, he's giving me the trade? It's unexpected. I'm not gonna do that.
May the gods grant us their favor.
I will use this. I don't think it's good generally, but in this spot. That's interesting.
I'll never stop fighting.
I think I will use it here. This one deals 3 damage to a random recruit, so it's not good when you have board position. If he doesn't protect Aquaman for some reason... Okay, there he goes. I think this is the play.
Time for a hostile takeover.
Does he have Ladama? Oh, okay, Massacre. So right now Swamp Thing would be a 4-6, not that good. I think we'll just go Steve Trevor. And then Kong.
I'll never stop fighting.
May the gods grant us their favor.
Unexpected help is just sitting in the hand, as I might have expected. It's only good if you're facing like Flash Doomsday and they manage to down a hero pretty fast. Might remove this for another copy of Hephaestus. Opponent may have pushed exit game. When you push exit game, it doesn't concede immediately, you just kind of leave. So I'll go ahead and pause until something happens, because we'll be roping or waiting for him to come back. Given the context, I would lean more towards thinking he pushed exit game, but it may just be a disconnection. I don't have anything good to do here. Guess it's just truth and justice. And then we just go ahead and pause again until the rope runs down. Alright, here we go. Well, overall, 4 and 4. I would say the same thing about this deck that I'd probably say about Black Adam and Aquaman. It's like a 50-50 deck, give or take, most likely. Maybe slightly higher. I'd say they're roughly equivalent in strength. Might be the case for most Might decks right now just because they didn't get any help from the Blue Beetle mini set. In terms of changes, though, I'd say Unexpected Help was a dud. and would remove it for another copy of Hephaestus. It was more fun than playing one of the Shazam Ivy or Batman Shazam decks, though. Or certainly Flash Doomsday. You can get some pretty crazy boards, run away with games. So that's all for now, and thank you for watching.